What's up, my friends? We got Mike Ruling from Mike's Tool Shed. A whole bunch of you guys have requested that we sit and do a conversation. And so, Mike, what's up, dude?
What's going on? It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. It's been a long time. We first met, how many years ago when we started doing Home Depot shit together? Was that 2017, 2018?
Was it that long? I don't pay attention to years, but it was a while ago.
They all just fucking fly by, man.
Yeah.
Especially with COVID. I feel like just 2 years of life just got canceled.
Just got vanished out into the space.
Yeah. How's everything where you're at with COVID? Like, is it crazy Nazi town? Is it nobody gives a shit?
It depends. I could go north to a job, no masks, no nothing. People are very against everything. It's very diverse. Like, I guess it boils down to politics now, and it's diverse politically. So if you go up to the north, everybody's against vaccines and no one's wearing masks. You drive 45 minutes south, every single person's wearing masks. And yeah, it's very, very different. It's not one or the other.
Okay. Yeah, when I went up to Colorado recently, it was when you got into Boulder's very left. Like, Boulder is the place where left, like, I think the definition of left in the dictionary is Boulder, right? Like, that's where everybody's got feelings about everything, and this is where the mecca is of having feelings about everything. Not to judge, I'm just saying, like, I've never been a place so fucking crazy left. I've been a lot of places fucking crazy right. I'm in Texas. I get it. But anyways, I went up there, and in Boulder, it's like they will, like, kill you with their eyes if you are not wearing a mask, or if you've, like, walked within 100 yards of a human being without a mask. Like, it's just fucking crazy. And then you get out into, like, other parts of Colorado when you're out in the mountains, and people are like, bro, we don't give two fucks out here. Are you kidding me? That's all a bunch of shit. You know, it's so funny how, like, so close, they're completely opposing.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the same here, only you could drive 45 minutes and yeah, you get death stares. We walked into a convenience store the other day, and me and my helper were the only two people in there without a mask on. Every single person looked at us. Where we were typically working, it's not a thing. As far as the job sites, we did have a big corporate job. I guess you could guess the company that would have been. Their mask mandate, no matter what the local jurisdiction says. But it was also it's also like we kept saying we were getting Texas heat. It was like heat index of like 110, and that pretty much went out the window. Nobody really gave us a hard time about it. But yeah, it varies from job site to job site, and varies from area to area and builder to builder. It's all over the place.
Yep, I'm finding the same thing. My kid he went into his freshman year out of high school, and then over the fall, it stopped at Christmas, right? So they went on break. And then he just didn't go back to high school. So he missed the rest of his freshman year, which is like your freshman fucking year in high school, man.
That sucks.
And then he missed all of his sophomore year in high school too. And now he's a junior, and he's like, bro, like, I don't even know what the fuck high school is anymore. And like, all these girls look different, and they've got, you know, like, everything's different now. And I don't know, it's just funny, like, all of them going back to school, it's like a big party, and he's so grateful for all of it. But, you know, with stuff in the news, it's like he's sitting there like, are we gonna have to fucking cancel school again? Like, am I gonna even get a high school?
Yeah.
And those years, man. Like, do you have kids?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. Like the developmental age of being in high school and not having the social structure that you've had your entire life, and having that ripped away, like, I feel like we're not going to see the effect of that for a while, but I feel like there's going to be an effect of it all.
I totally agree. There's definitely just the things that happen in different parts, and there was kids that got robbed of their senior year. Yeah, and it's like, and then getting having this whole different college experience for their first year. It's definitely going to have some kind of ripple effect. It's definitely going to change things a little bit.
Yeah. I think when we look back in like 5 or 10 years too, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, we didn't even see this part of it coming. You know?
Yeah, we'll call them like the COVID kids or something.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, shit. So for anybody that is watching that doesn't know who you are, will you explain your channel, what you're all about? And,
I am obsessed with tools. I like the idea of tools. I like having the right tool for every job. I like having the best possible tool I can get my hands on. And I had this goal of acquiring as many tools as possible. And I saw YouTube as an opportunity to do that. So I was like, I can make a couple bucks. And I have a YouTube channel called Mike's Tool Shed that started out 100% as tool reviews. And I would let on a little bit that I'm an electrician, but I also have like hobbies in auto mechanics and doing just general household stuff. So the whole YouTube channel starting thing was just a big plot to get more tools. And I kind of got interested in it. It was fun. I was getting good feedback. And for the first year and a half, 2 years that I did it, 100% of my revenue went towards more tools and trying to make contacts with companies so they could send to me more tools. And it's kind of fell off a little bit. I was having a good run at it, but life happens, major life changes going on, and it wasn't as much of a priority. I never wanted to do it professionally. It was just a hobby. So it's slowed down a little bit, but I haven't forgotten about it. I haven't lost my passion to do it, but this is my apartment, and I started the channel at my home that I had with my ex-wife, and I could go to I had a workshop in the basement. I had a shed tool bench out there. Whether it was, depending on the weather, what I was feeling at any moment, inspiration struck me, or I got a new tool, I could just go do a video. I don't have a workbench in my apartment, sadly. I looked, it's not a standard feature on a lot of apartments.
Yeah.
The landlord did tell me I could bring a shed on the site if I wanted to. I would just have to leave it if I had it. So yeah, Mike's Tool Shed. I started getting into some more electrical themed videos, or more electrically focused videos, not nearly to the extent that you do, but yeah, that's kind of how what fate led us to the same thing with the Home Depot, and that's how we met.
Yeah, we for those of you that don't know, we met on our, I guess it was probably your first sponsorship too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Home Depot reached out to both of us and we're like, hey, we're doing this thing, gonna sponsor you, give you some money. I was like, this is a joke. This is some hacker trying to get into my bullshit. Like, no way, Home Depot is gonna sponsor me. And sure as shit, like we showed up and we were the only two electricians. Everybody else was like craft makers and furniture makers and stuff. So, but yeah, dude, I feel you too on the life change. So everybody that follows me knows I went through a divorce at the same time. Turns out you did as well. It kind of rocks your entire fucking world, right? And everything just kind of stops. Everything for me stopped mattering. Like, I had to take time off, dude. I was sitting here in front of a camera trying to record, and I'm like, I don't give two fucks about the stupid fucking camera in front of me right now, and I don't give a shit about anything. I just want to go lay down with my dog, watch Rick and Morty, smoke some weed, and give everybody I know a middle finger, because go fuck yourself. Like, that's how I felt. I was so angry, man. Were you the same way?
Yeah. Like, I have to be, I'm an optimistic kind of person. I like to make a lot of jokes. I like to, be upbeat. That's just my mentality. But I won't get into the specifics of what my deal was, but it definitely like completely shut me down. And I was like, I can't pretend to be happy for a video. That's my biggest thing was with doing videos and things. Like, I can't stand the fake bullshit. I relate way more to people I feel like are being real. So that's what I wanted to do. If I'm not in a good mood or I'm not happy about something, I'm not going to make a video. I had, the whole time though, I was doing like 2-3 videos a week. If I had a bad day, I wasn't doing a video that day. Well, certain things give you bad months, 6 months, bad years. So I kind of stopped, but I'm in a way better place now. But I totally relate to just wanting to flip everybody off and say, fuck you, fuck. And I have people emailing me, what happened? Why'd you stop making videos? And I'm not going to email person
everyone and tell them, well, you're in the thick of it, what's going on? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just retracted from everything. And but now I'm coming out of it. I have come out of it, and there's plans in the works to get another working space to to do some more. But yeah, it sucks. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, man. Your entire life's different too, right? Like, I'm sure it affected friend groups, and it affected,
oh god,
like your location, where you're at, family that you were with.
Yeah. It affected it affects every little part of your life. You split up. Me and my ex are still cordial. we don't get along. I could have went way nasty with things. And, you know, like, this is horrible to say, but you hear about, like, you know, an ex, a jilted lover, you know, committing some atrocity against their ex. It's like, you understand that at some point. Like, that kind of mentality makes sense. But I was like, that's not going to get me anywhere. That's not going to benefit me. It's not going to benefit anybody else around me. So we're friendly. But then you have like friends that kind of like take sides, like, oh well, you gotta divvy up the friends, you know, and you know, divvy up my place of living. She still lives in the house that we got together. That's okay. I didn't love that house. It was cool. But try to look on the bright side of all the aspects of it, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's good to see you. When all of that was happening, I would reach out and I would try to like just see what you were doing, and I could tell there was something going on with you because I just knew you. You know, like I had met you, and I'm like, there's got to be something crazy going on. So now that I've come to learn, and it was only recently that I learned that you had gone through a divorce, and then having gone through one myself, I was like, oh, it all makes sense now.
I did really appreciate that, and a bunch of people kind of did that, especially close friends that kind of knew.
Oh, dude, everybody loves your shit. Everybody's like, where did he go? What the fuck?
Some people, it's a handful, yeah. But and I really appreciate that, and I felt like such a dick because I would put it off, like, okay, I want to get back to Dust. Dust is a great guy. I want to get back to him, and also like a terrible short-term memory, and then it would be part of I'd put it off and then not remember or not really. What do I say? It's like, what do I say? What do I say?
You're prioritizing, bro. Like, that's it. That's all there was to it. I completely get it. I'm not trying to put your shit out. I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything like that.
I got you. But I'm
totally
trying
get
to. You even said yourself that you kind of retract from certain things. You kind of,
man.
You've got to focus on other things, and it's simple as just getting back to somebody is like a tough thing.
Yeah, and me, I'm sitting here like, bro, let's do a podcast together. It's not like, hey man, let's just like have a conversation. So yeah, understandable. Oh yeah, dude. So I had with mine, I went through therapy for like 6 months every single week. Never really done that, never committed to anything like that, but it was the perfect thing for me to do, to actually get to talk shit out. I'm a talker, right? So for me to be able to, I was already internalizing everything about my life and about me and trying to figure out if I fucked up something, if I should have been different, if it, you know, like I'm always just that person. I'm always like comparing myself to versions of myself and trying to see where I'm at and if I'm being a douchebag or if I'm like actually an okay person, you know. But it really, dude, it helped having somebody to talk to. And surprisingly, going through therapy, like he didn't bring her up once. 6 months, didn't talk about her at all. The entire thing was just talking about me, and he was like, how you feel, what's going on today with YouTube, or like what, you know. And it just kept me in a different place, focusing on all these different aspects of me and who I am. And fuck, dude, it really, really helped. Did you do anything like that?
No, I've always, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I had thought about it, but we had done couples therapy before that, and I realized the diversity in therapists, and that you really got to find one that you like, or that makes sense and is going to work for you. And that process was kind of painful, not painful, but it was difficult. I was like, you know, we went to one lady and she just agreed with her on everything. There was no compromise. Right. There was no looking at both sides. She was like, man, bad. I agree. He needs to straighten up. And I'm like, what? Like, what's going on here? So I didn't go down that route. And my ex even, she started doing therapy and she had suggested it to me, but I've kind of always prided myself on being able to just sit down and think logically and work through things myself. I'm like my own therapist to a certain extent. And like before all that, everything, you know, really came to a head and kind of went to shit. You know, I like to drink. And one of the things that I did when this all happened is I just stopped drinking. I was like, I can't, that's not healthy for me to try to forget about things. I need to sit here and I need to fucking think about this and try to work through it and look at the positives and look at the negatives and focus on the positives and try to mitigate the negatives. And I mean, it might have taken me longer than it did you to start feeling, you know, like things were normal again. But I just kind of I kind of worked through it for myself, kept myself surrounded with some friends, which also was a little more difficult when COVID hit. But I did have a couple close friends that I still would be in contact with. But yeah, to each his own. I wasn't against therapy at all. I have nothing against it, but I've always worked through things myself a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's I don't think I've ever gone through something like that. Like, how long were you guys together?
We were together like 10 or 11 years, and
A
we'd only
third
been
of your
married
life.
for like 3. Yeah.
Yeah, the same exact thing. We were married for I think 3 years, and we were together for 10. So it was like
Yeah.
my identity, who I've been for a third of my life, is wrapped up with this other person. And I don't really have a family. I mean, I have people out there who are of my blood, but they're not my family by any means. I might see them once every 10 years or something like that.
Same.
So I don't really have a family, but her family became my family. It was like every holiday, everything. Like my life was wrapped up. I would call her mom, like it was like they were my family, and all of it just immediately overnight fucking gone. And it just such a crazy change, man.
It was my dude. That you're telling my story. Like my family's,
Really?
my family's. I basically have my mom and my sister. Also, something to compound the things. I don't even know if I told you about this, but it was so fucked up. Like right after all this shit happened with my ex. Really, all at the time I had was my parents, and my sister. A lot of the extended family, and my sister and we're friendly. We don't. She doesn't invite me to shit. I don't invite her to shit. We hang out. We support each other. We're not super close. We're not like best buds, brother and sister. And my parents, I'd had a kind of a rocky relationship with them over the years for various reasons. But right after, like 2 months after everything came to a head with my ex, my dad got cancer, and I basically had to go. I couldn't even worry about myself at that point. I had to go take care of my dad. I had to move back in with my parents' house. He was on
Fuck.
he was on hospice. I had to kind of put all of my things that I was thinking aside and focus on my dad and make sure he's like as comfortable as he could be. And all things considered, he had a good end. It wasn't sudden. It didn't shock the family. He wasn't in any pain from what he said, so it was like that. I tried to make it as pleasant for him, but I didn't start working on myself till months after his passing, because I'm working through all of that. And what you were saying with family, I love my sister. I love my parents. But her family, my ex's family, was very tight, very big, very loving family. There was always big events where everybody came, and grandma ruled, the family. And I've been to events. I've been to their family events. I still keep in contact with her. Her sister still cuts my hair. And her whole family reached out to me. I'll just say I'm beating around the bush. It's not a big deal. This happens to people. I was cheated on, and her whole family was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," because her whole family loved me, and I loved her whole family, and they all knew that they felt bad for what had happened, and they all reached out to me and were like, "We're so sorry. Like, you can come to any Christmas, you can come to any Thanksgiving. We love you." So I still have like a side family, but it was, that made everything like at least twice as hard through the whole process.
Yeah, the kind of opposite happened. Everything happened, and not a single, well, I shouldn't say not a single, her mom and her grandma have both been like, please come back out and like hang out. And but everybody else, nobody's given two shits, haven't said a fucking word to me. And I haven't either, like it's embarrassing. It's hard to deal with something like that. It's like, what the fuck do I even say, and why do I even bother? It's like she's got a new life now, moved on. I'm doing, whole different thing, whole different direction. So like, what the fuck's even the purpose? But I feel your pain, dude. I'm sorry. First off, hold on, bro. I'm sorry about your pops. Man, I didn't know that.
Was tough.
That's like fuck all that other shit. Pops, dude. That sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the whole X thing kicked off a bad couple of years, but like I said, I'm smiling. I'm optimistic about the future. I think, things generally, I think things happen for a reason, and you just, like I said, a parent passing away and getting cheated on aren't unique experiences. I'm
Right.
not the only person that's ever been through that. I just had the misfortune of having them happen so close together. But there are things people can work through, and I did my best to do that. But with yeah, with, like I said, her family is like, I don't really talk to them too much anymore. But immediately afterwards, there was a lot of them reached out to me, and that was nice. And they all would still, welcome me back. And like she came to my father's viewing and everything, and I went to her grandmother. Like her grandmother liked me. She was the first boyfriend, of hers she ever liked. So, it's not so much anymore, but it's like I said, everything fucking changes. Everything.
Yeah, dude, and people change. The thing that I've like learned the most about this is like no matter what promises you make in a relationship with somebody, years of life goes on, and you being with somebody, everybody has expectations for certain things, and some needs aren't met somewhere, and people start to kind of just grow apart. And the changes that people make over a certain amount of time are the unexpected ways in which people act differently than you ever expected they would, because you still think they're the same person that they were when you first met, and you still think you guys have that same bond, and you're still just as connected, and you would never lie or hurt the other person or do shady fucking shit. And people change, man. So it's like, for me, it's really hard. I have just focused on like, you know what? I'm just doing Dustin. I got my kid, me and that boy, thick as thieves. That's the only shit that matters. I don't really have any more friends. There's a couple of people that I still hang on to because I think they're just quality people. But like, I've pretty much just pushed everybody out of my life. And it's like, Electrician, this is my fucking thing. And this is everything to me. And this is all I'm going to worry about doing. And, every once in a while, I'll still want to like date somebody, and I'll like want to, get on the cuddles, and but
Yeah.
it's like for me, it's just I have to evaluate that, and I've been learning to tell myself no. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of girls I could call right now and go out on a date or like whatever. And what's that going to do? I mean, if anything, getting attracted to somebody for me is going to take me off my path. It's going to give me something different to focus on. And so I've been trying really hard to just like keep pushing forward. And because I have a unique point, like my whole life, I've always just been like girl to girl to girl to girl to girl. I've never taken time to just spend time on me and be me and figure out what the fuck I like. And so for right now, that's what I'm doing, man. And it's funny because everything in my life is blossoming in the exact way that I want it to. I've got this, I'm kind of woo woo. I'm not religious in any way, but I believe like everything operates off vibration and energy, and there's harmonies and discord and all that kind of shit. So I
Yeah.
have this
Yeah.
vision board up on my wall, dude, and I've got a picture of like everything that I want, every toy I want, like exact house that I want, pictures of mountains in the Colorado because I want to move to Colorado. Like my entire fucking life, I spend every morning looking at that, and then every day throughout the day I see it, and I'm just on fucking target with what I'm trying to do. And
Yeah.
that's my whole thing.
I just heard what a vision board was like a week ago, and I
Yeah.
was like, "That's an interesting concept."
Yeah.
And I did the similar thing. I made my computer background a
That works
collage
too.
of things. That's something that I look at quite a bit. But yeah, dude, that's badass because you've got like so much to work on right now. You got so many things going, and build that, get that going, get that to a safe place, get it to where you want it, and then you could consider like, and maybe through this whole building of all of the stuff you're trying to do, you know just randomly somebody comes into your life and is still gonna let you build your shit you want to build, but also be a part of it. And you just don't be that's the same thing I'm doing. I'm just trying to get my things, or situated, I'm not saying my life's not where I want it to be, but it could be better. It can always be better for everybody.
Yeah.
Get it to where you want to go. And because I tried dating, and there was some hookups, and it was completely unfulfilling. And it didn't I didn't get anything out of it, So I could say something else, but I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
I would be careful. You're a public figure.
You get what I'm getting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, though. And I'm
Dude,
like, hey, I
how
need
old are
to.
you?
39.
Okay, so I'm 36. The dating pool, the girls now that you're like you've been out of the game for 10 years or whatever, it's
Yeah.
way fucking different now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even know where to start. Like, you could go to a bar. You're only gonna meet one type of lady at a bar. You could go
Barfly.
on Tinder. You're only meeting so many kinds of ladies on Tinder and plenty of fish. It's like, what avenue? And I just feel like, also, I'm more than a profile. I don't think I present well on a profile like that. I think I'm just better in person. Like, I'm more, you get the sense of my personality and how I am, instead of me putting some fake shit on Tinder. And that was the downfall of the things that kind of didn't work out. And it's I don't have any kids. A lot of people have kids, and that's fine, but it's some people want to, date somebody else with kids, or somebody they don't want kids. And it's like this whole other, there's 20 other dynamics now involved, and they're just be like, hey, you're cute, what's up?
Yeah, dude.
you know
I remember when we were younger, like there was no online dating. When OkCupid came out, or like Facebook and MySpace were a thing, it was like
Yeah.
that was the first time you got to just check somebody out without ever having to
Yeah.
talk to them. And it was
Yeah.
like you got to go through an IKEA catalog and go shopping before you started talking or before you bought, you know. And now it's
Yeah.
like that's all it is. It's like nobody has the desire to meet in person. For me, that like I'm kind of a fucking wolf, like for me the chase, the trying to figure out what to say that like eye contact across a room, and
Yeah.
like just the playful like game of it is what I really like. So the whole online shit, it's just like I can see through you. You've got plastic surgery, like 3/4 of your body. I'm just not interested. Like I could tell you're bullshitting this. So it's like I don't want to meet somebody like that. I want to have like I want to be at like some coffee shop or something and like. I don't know, some fucking thing happens. Maybe I'm just old school. I don't know.
No, I totally agree. There was a situation a couple weeks ago. I thought this would have turned into something, but it didn't. But this girl came flying around the corner with a shopping cart at the grocery store. The shopping cart had a sharp edge on the front of it, and it like sliced my leg open. And she was cute. I think she was single, but she's like, I got band-aids in my car, and it was just like nothing came of it. You know what I mean? But it was like that's how I want to meet somebody. You know what I mean? Just some random real world, interaction, not Tinder or some profile where you're like, oh, I'm gonna put my best foot forward here, take the best pictures. I'm gonna touch this up, dude. The ladies with the filters.
Yeah,
and the angles.
Man. Oh my god, they look nuts.
It's not fair.
I know, right? There's no doctoring this shit up. Like you and I aren't Brad Pitt. There ain't no fucking hiding it.
There's no makeup. not using selfie filters on my Instagram. It's that was also been, kind of surprised. Oh, you're like, is that? You're waiting at a restaurant for somebody and they walk in, you're like, that kind of looks like the the pictures. And it's not what it's all about, but it's way more of a challenge. It's a minefield.
You know what you should do is you should get like one of those attachable mustache beard things, and when they walk in and you're like, nope, you just stick that on and they won't even fucking recognize you. You just walk out. No, I would confront somebody. I'd be like, you don't look anything like this fucking picture. I'm sorry. First red flag.
Just fucking roll out. Yeah, I value so much more of like a random interaction kind of instant chemistry kind of thing. That's like, and then be like, oh, was she flirting with me? Not like you've been texting them for 4 or 5 days and like what positions they like already. It's like, oh, maybe this girl could be interesting, or maybe she's interested in me. I don't know. Was that something she does? Is she just being nice? You know what I mean? That's like the same kind of thing. That's the fun part. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole like, it just changes the game. It's like, it would be like watching NFL if all of the players had iPads in their hands at all times and they could like, if there was just something different, like that drastically different about the game.
Yeah.
It's not a game anymore. Yeah, well, it is actually. It's a game now. It never used to be. It was like a real thing, but now it just feels like some fucking fake game, and I don't want anything to do with any of it, man. I just want to go up into the mountains, ride dirt bikes, and get lost.
Yes. Dude, do you want to just be a non-monogamous or a platonic couple? Like,
Yeah,
I ride
let's
dirt
do
bikes,
it.
dude.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I had a
fuck, I didn't know that.
KX 100 back in. I haven't had one in a long time, but I had a KX 100, and that was the best damn bike ever. 2-stroke, crazy power band.
Yeah, for 100 too. Like I had a 60 when I was 8 years old. Is when I started riding dirt bikes. Well,
Same.
first time I ever got on a dirt bike, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. I got on this little KX60 and brand new. We just brought it home from the fucking store. It was like $2,000, and like I climb on that thing with my helmet. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And they're like, don't pull that fucking thing back. Like, ease it back a little bit and don't pop this clutch. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Wow! And I popped the fucking clutch. My hand slipped back and that bike went, woof, gone. And I just landed back on my ass. Fucked up everything on the bike, like for day one. And I was like, I'm sold. I love this.
No, yeah, that's that. I was a big baby. Like, I was scared of it when I got a Cobra 50 back when I was 6 or 7. It was some used piece of shit that like never started, but I was a big baby with it at first. I like eased into it. So I didn't wreck for like a long time. But yeah, man, it's Colorado. Like, yeah, I want to go to Colorado and snowboard in the winter and mountain bike and dirt bike in the summer. And yeah, that's my life goal. That's the same. That's the same place I want to end up, dude. That's not a bad place.
You should go up there. So every 6 months I go up and I drive the whole state, like corner to corner, edge to edge, center, everything. I drive to every fucking city. I've seen all of it in the summer, all of it in the winter. There's a couple places I like more in the summer and then different places I like more in the winter. But I've just taken the time to really imagine myself being there by being there and sleeping in a car for a week and just trying to figure it all out. And I know that what I've been doing for a really long time here in Austin is I've just been living this life that I've built off of making decisions that have run into other decisions and then met people that have, my life has just taken shape and I'm here in the middle of it. And it's like, okay, right now is the time where I could make my life exactly how I want to be. And I've given up so many things that were important to me as a kid. Like, I used to ride dirt bikes. I was in, BMX. I had skateboarding, snowboarding, anything with boards pretty much. Like, I was just always an outdoor kind of like running through the fucking country, climbing trees kind of kid. I love rock climbing. All of it, dude. So when I go to Colorado, I'm like, this is me. This is like, if you could take me and put it into a fucking place, this place is me. It's where I come from. Snow, like all of four different seasons. So yeah, like that's where I'm going. And I've got all of these businesses and everything that I'm doing here in Austin. So everybody keeps asking me, they're like, well, if you fucking leave, it's gonna change everything. And I'm like, well, I'll figure it out. That's what I do, man. I just figure shit out. A lot of people doubt what I'm able to do or because they don't see the picture, and it's like, I will fucking make it happen. Whatever needs to happen, I will make it happen.
That's it. It's one thing I picked up on really quick about you is that you get motivated about something and you stick with it and you see it through. And so you're doing all these things. Really, like, there's not a whole lot of that. You couldn't just pick up and move somewhere else.
Right.
Do the same formula.
The electrical contracting part would be hard. I would have to like literally either open a second location and let someone run this one or completely shut it down and open it back up over there.
Yeah, that's the only thing you could or you could start that there. Get what you need out of everything else you're doing and then take and start it in Colorado. I always wondered about that though, because everything in Colorado is so far apart. I feel like town to town, there's like 2 passes you have to go through, and there's no straight shot at anything. You've got to go 25 miles this way and 35 miles this way to get to a place that's only 20 miles away.
You could throw a rock over the mountain and hit the house.
Yeah. I'm like, man, could I be an electrical contract? Do electrical work out here? Because there's plenty of it. There's plenty of building. It's a prosperous area, but I feel like either got to be like a small town in a local area or like something out of Denver.
Yeah,
maybe
the
Denver
Colorado
metropolitan
Springs.
area
Yeah,
or Boulder, and then you'd be able to, have the rest of the state as your playground when you had, free time.
that sounds great. I think having a house up in Silverton or Ouray, like way up in the shit, having like 100 acres up there in a cabin, and
Yeah.
I make my own disc golf course and make my own dirt bike course and like all of the shit, and then just work in Denver and in Colorado Springs.
I didn't know you played disc golf too.
Is this a man crush?
Dude, it's close.
Dude,
There's a
yeah.
lot of courses around here, and I have a couple friends, and it's just like mainly a thing to just have a couple beers and hang out with friends. But yeah, there's a lot of it going on over here.
Yeah. No, that's all like that's everything that's driving me. Well, legacy kind of drives me too. So I started this thing and I'm doing this thing and I want to see this thing through and I want to blow it up and make it big. I have huge ambitions for what I want Electrician U to eventually be. And I feel like I've put so much, I've literally given everything but my dog and kid.
Yeah.
I only have one, I hope. I've literally given everything. I have given up everything else for this. So I'm not just going to give up on it, man. I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, that was like one of the first things I noticed about you is that you driven and focused kind of person. Not everybody's like that. That's kind of a rare quality. So you could kind of put whatever in front of a person like you, and it's just going to happen. So
yeah,
man.
I'm
not so much that. I'm kind of a wanderer.
Yeah,
kind of jump from thing to thing. But like I said, like when I do have a place and a time to do YouTube videos, I think I saw it behind you earlier, getting one of those play buttons. Yeah.
Oh, this thing?
That's my next goal.
It's never mind. I'm not going to say. I'm going to let you get one, and then we'll have a conversation about this.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think I kind of know what you're going to say.
What?
It's just kind of cheap and cheesy, and you had to ask for it. Did you have to ask for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like at first I just didn't give a shit about it. I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's like a plat, like whatever. If I get it, I get it. And then it didn't come, and I was like, it was like 110,000, 120,000, and I'm like, wait a second. They said back when I had 0 followers that I'd get this fucking plaque in a few years if I worked my ass off, and then it started to fuck with me, and it was like more of an ego thing at that point where I was just like, no, I want it. Where the fuck's my plaque? And then it came and I was just like, oh my God, it's like paper.
Yeah, I know they're different now, and I have heard you had to ask for them, and it's not even about that. It's just like it's not about the physical thing, because I've seen them, and they look kind of cheesy. I wouldn't hang it on my wall, but it's like the physical representation of a goal that it could be a used up Amazon card. Here, you get a used up Amazon card when you hit this. I'd still be like, okay, it's just a goal that I made for myself that I was like, yeah, I'm going to try to get there at some point.
Yeah, dude, I have those too. Like I kind of always set things out in front of myself so that I'm constantly trying to attain. And I think some people would be like, oh, well, that's materialistic. And that's just you never being content in the now. And it's like, well, my contentness in the now is me having a goal and knocking things off of a list and accomplishing the things that I set my mind out to. Like that is my enjoying the now. And so like one of the things I told my son, like once I have turned 0 into $200,000 worth of crypto, then I'm going to go buy a motorcycle. And once I've hit $1 million, I'm going to go get my Audi R8. Like I don't care where else I'm at and what else I'm doing, but it's like those are the fucking things. And it's not like that is driving my life, but I have all of these different things I invest. I'm like into coin collecting, numismatics, I'm into crypto, I'm into stock market. So like I just have these benchmark goals. Otherwise it's just me trying to gain zeros in a fucking bank account for the sake of doing it. It's like, no, the reason I'm doing it is because like I love dirt biking. So I want to go get a fucking $8,000 dirt bike, but I'm not just going to pull a random fucking $8,000 out of my bank and go make a terrible decision. It's like, no, I'm going to earn it. I'm going to spend time chasing a thing. And then when I get it, it's like, I did this. I fucking pieced this reality together to have this. I don't know.
That's exactly what my not a dirt bike, but my goal is to get like a TRD Pro Tacoma. That's a
Me
little out of my
too.
price range. Get the fuck out of here.
No, seriously, that's my truck, bro. You can't have it.
I
And it
want the
has to be.
green one.
Oh well, you can have. Well, yeah, like the
Okay.
fucking the forest green, right?
Yes. Yeah.
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 Oh, fuck you, dude.
So like, I my ex had owed me some money. Like we agreed at the end of everything. I was like, look, we bought the house together. I put the entire down payment on the house. She didn't have any savings at the time. And I was like, look, I'm not going to rake you over the coals. Just know that I could do that. I'm not about that. I just want my down payment back so that if another house comes up as an opportunity, that I have the down payment. Otherwise, it's that, or we get ugly with lawyers in the house and everything else.
Yeah.
My compromise was just give me the down payment back. So she did, and I have like almost I have the whole thing split up between E-Trade and Coinbase. And I'm like, I'm still gonna have a payment on it, but I'm in like base Tacoma territory right now, and I'm like, if my Coinbase accounts gets to this, then I'm in down payment for a TRD, maybe not a Pro, but that's the goal for Tacoma TRD, and then like maybe get a little camper and just go camping all the time and go be out in the woods and use the locking differentials and the 4-wheel drive to get to cooler places that most people, don't have the opportunity to get to. Explore stuff, adventures. Yeah. That's kind of what that means to me.
Yep.
But
dude, I agree. Forest green though, man. That's my color too. Matte black wheels, forest green.
I don't care about I'll put some kind of badass bead locks on it at some point.
All right, we got to have different fucking TRD Pro. Like we can't have the same shit. The other color I might have a cap. A cap?
Yeah, get a cap on it.
Oh.
And sleep in the bed. You might not be able to pull that off. I can pull it off. I can sleep in the bed.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks is that there's such short beds, and the only way to get a 4x4 in a Tundra is by having the what do they call it, the king cab, where you have, or the crew cab. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want that. I don't want to sacrifice like 2 feet of fucking bed for some friends that I don't have to sit in my back seat,
Yeah. Good dry storage for stuff. But yeah, I could be like, hey everybody, let's hop in the Tacoma. Like,
yeah.
It's not what it's for me anyway.
Do you have any animals?
I had a cat, but the cat had a better life at my old house, so I just kind of left the cat behind. It's got a good life, but I've been looking to get another cat because for a while I really did miss like opening the door and the cat was like right there. It was like another living being that was like happy to see me. Living in an apartment by yourself, there's none of that. So probably like I'm okay with cats. I could have a small dog here, but at some point I'm gonna not be living in an apartment, and my goal is to for now, it's like take over my parents' house, the house I grew up in. It's getting too much for my mom. I'm over there every weekend doing all kinds of maintenance and everything to it. So it's hard to do that not living there. And it's hard for my mom living there. So try to figure out something like her to move in with my sister maybe, and I take over the house, and then I definitely get a couple of dogs for sure. It's got 5 acres of property and half of it's fenced in. So
yeah,
nothing at the moment though. What about you?
I got 2 pups. I got a, let me see if I can put this on the screen. I've got Luna, which is a pit bull.
My best friend has a pit bull named Luna. Go ahead.
And then I just got this. This is
a German Shepherd?
No, it's a Belgian Malinois, so it's like kind of a miniature German Shepherd, but just solid black face. Smart fucking dog though, man. Like high energy, real fun to train. Like if you're into training dogs at all. But yeah, this is both of them. They're like mother and daughter.
They're best buds.
Yeah. As soon as I brought her home, Luna just like this side of her came out that I've never seen before, and she's just taken to it. Like she's a completely different dog.
Awesome. I'm sure that was kind of like the concern. You got to have your dogs get along.
Yeah, we've had some rough patches too because pit bulls. I've had other pit bulls that I brought in, and there's been some fighting, and like Luna got fucked up. She fought a zebra one time. There's been all kinds of crazy shit. Like she's had a story of her own. So like always introducing and doing muzzle work. Like I'm a very responsible dog owner. I'm very much in tune with training and dogs' personalities and watching every little thing about them to understand where they're at mentally and what's going, But like this, I felt from the beginning, I'm like, if we had a puppy for her, there would be no threat, there would be no defensiveness, feeling like she has to protect us or anything. Plus, she's never been a mom, she's never had a litter, so I think just it being a female pup too, like, I don't know, I just felt really good about it. So we brought her home, and it was like immediately, instantly, they're just like,
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it sounds like you had a really good plan. That's really good to hear too, because like so many people, I've had friends that have gotten dogs and they're like, yeah, we got a pit bull. It's a good dog. It's not mean to anybody, but it just tears the house up. I've known people that have like gotten rid of their dogs, like they had them for like a year or two and end up getting rid of them because they tear stuff up. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta train, you gotta spend more time with it. That was another thing. People would be out of the house and at work for like a long time, and the dog got bored or separation anxiety, and it didn't know what to do with itself, and it acted out by tearing up the fucking house. And it's sad. That's good to know, man. That's really good to know.
Yeah, it sucks too. Like I volunteer at we have a local no-kill shelter in Austin, and that's actually done a lot of work on like making Austin a no-kill city, like because of this shelter. They're really good people. But I volunteer down there from time to time, and it's like 80% pit bulls. It's a very mismanaged breed and a very misunderstood, very like poorly represented by the media, and people just, there's like all these lies and things out there too. Like people say, well, pit bulls, if they bite, their jaws come unhinged, and it's like, no, that's never once, not seriously, never once in history has that ever happened. That's just some stupid fucking shit that you heard on a movie somewhere. And pit bulls, like if there's a pit bull out in the street, they're more likely to get shot or get the police called. If you see a golden retriever out in the street, you're going to walk up to that dog and try to give it peanut butter and let it come home with you. Like pit bulls get fucked in this whole thing. And honestly, out of every dog, I've had dogs my whole life, this is the most loving, heart, like warm, just cuddles, nothing but love in her heart kind of dog there ever is. And there's been fighting, but like every dog I've had has gotten into like scraps with other dogs. But it's just the dangerous thing with pit bulls is if everything is going to act basically how it feels it needs to act for its level of safety. So most of the time when you see stuff happen with pit bulls, it's normally with other dogs because that's what their breed. They were bred, and that violence was dog-to-dog violence. But pit bulls are really bred to stand their ground in a fight. They're not trained to fight, to go attack something. Yeah. And it's never people. And if it is, that dog for some reason felt it needed to fucking keep itself safe. So more often than not, you find with pit bulls that have attacked humans is it's a pit bull that's been beaten and treated bad, or one that's been trained to fight. Yeah, it's always the fucking person, man. Like dogs left in a field by themselves don't fucking act this way. They don't.
No.
It's only once you introduce fucking people into the mix.
Or zebras.
Yeah, dude.
Did you say zebras?
Crazy. Yes. Oh my god.
I know Texas has like a crazy amount of exotic animals, but you got to explain that.
I mean, everybody down here has ranches, right? Like everybody, Texas is like the majority of the state is just fucking ranches, really rich people. And so a lot of them have like exotic deer and fucking elk and buffalo and lions and just crazy shit, because it's like Texas.
Yeah.
So this dude had a fucking zebra, and I was going out to do a service call, and I've been working with Luna because Luna has a lot of separation anxiety, just always has, especially since our other dog died a year ago. So she just she needs to be by me, almost touching me all the time for her to feel cool. And so I started to bring her to work, and that way I could leave her in the van for like small little bits of time, and she would see that I'm gone, and I would come right back, and then I would go on a little bit longer, but then I would come back, and I would just work on that on job sites constantly. And so I'd gotten to the point where I felt really comfortable with it, and anytime I'd go out to the country, I would just ask people like, hey, do you mind if my dog just kind of like runs around and sniffs shit rather than sitting in that fucking car for 30 minutes while I meet with you? And everybody's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. She's never chewed on anything. She doesn't do that. She just sticks by me. But this time we were walking around this fucking barn, man, and This guy wanted me to replace a service and stuff, so it actually took quite a while for us to figure all of this stuff out. So she's just kind of like wandering around, and she sees a zebra in a horse pen, and she just like darts over there, not aggressive or anything, just kind of like checking this thing out. And it gets right up to the fence, dude, and it starts standing up like this and starts like stomping at her. And immediately she was just like, what the fuck, you know, like she always goes into, even with cats, she'll go up to cats like real friendly, and then one of them like paw her in the face, and then she's like, "Rah!" You know, like she's always trying to be friendly first, and then gets fucked over at the end. Anyways, this zebra dude just started like stomping the ground at her and like screaming whatever fucking zebras do, and then she just started like, "Wah, wah," like she got the aggression vibe, so she started to defend. And that thing like started running the course of the fence, so she started running after it, and then all of a sudden it like took off, and she went under the fence and just took off after it. And so she was like real time chasing this fucking zebra, trying to attack it. She was jumping up on its back like a fucking lion, bro, trying to take this thing down, like biting on the back of its neck. It was kicking her, like she got kicked so many fucking times, like there was just blood everywhere, dude. She would get shit kicked like crazy and go tumbling, and then she'd get right back up and go fucking chase after it again.
Tough ass dogs. Yeah.
Zebras are tough ass zebras too. I just want you to know. I
took
took off, dude. I jumped that fucking fence and I got in there and ran after both of them. And I'm like, Luna! She didn't hear me at all. She didn't give two fucks. She was dialed in. That thing was going to die. And,
only in Texas.
Yeah. Eventually just tackled her and fucking like had blood all over the place. And
she was generally okay though.
Yeah, man, I just brought her over. There was a little pond, and I just brought her over, let her drink, you know, get the blood cleaned off, and I went and tied her up in the shade. And I was like, all right, let's look at the rest of this electrical system you got going. I'm probably not going to be back here, though. So that was Luna's zebra story.
Yeah, I've heard that more than half of the world's population of lions are in Texas.
Wait a second. That would mean there's like more domesticated owned lions than there are wild lions.
I mean, I don't know if they'd be domesticated, but I've heard like if you took all of the world's population of lions, more than half of them are in Texas in private collections. I've heard that multiple times too.
Fuck. Yeah, there's a lot of wild cats here. I mean, for sure. There's a lot of lynx and I don't know. Texas, man. This is fucking Texas.
I've been to Austin. Let's see. Damn. Yeah, I was in Austin. I don't remember if it was before or no, I went to it was before New York. Me and my ex had driven cross country. She was taking a job out in California. I was like, let's take a road trip. So we picked, where do you want to go? Let's go south. And we went through Austin. I don't remember where the hell we were. We had a friend that lived there, and she showed us around a little bit. We ended up staying 2 nights in Austin. We went to what's the great donuts? You guys got great donuts out there. I forget what the name of the donut place is.
It was Round Rock Donuts.
Voodoo? Is there Voodoo Donuts? I don't remember. We went to a sausage bar. There was a sausage bar. There was a clown bar.
Was there a sausage fest at the sausage bar?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Then there was the circus bar, the shipping container bar. You have any idea what I'm talking about, that area?
I've heard of all of them. I don't bar hop, man.
You don't go out a lot, yeah.
No, I'm here recording nonstop.
But that was it. But I was like, of all of the places we stopped in, we'd been to Louisiana before. We went to Baton Rouge. We went to Savannah, Georgia. We went to someplace in New Mexico. We went to Moab. Moab was badass too. But I was like, yeah, Moab and Austin are 2 places that I definitely, out of all that whole road trip, all of the cities we stopped in, as driving through Texas sucked. That was the worst part of the whole drive, out in the ranches. And then, so we pulled up to, this is getting completely off topic. This is something that you're probably familiar with, is there was these big grates, these big drainage grates in the middle of the road. And there would be like 2 fences, and then it would be this big drain. And I'm like, what the hell is this? It was the cattle thing.
Oh, the cattle guards.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sat on the side of the road for like 25 minutes trying to figure out what the hell this thing was built into the road. It's like, it's not a drain. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't even rain that much here. Like, what is this thing?
Keep the fucking cows in within a certain mile range.
So you could drive through someone's ranch, I guess. You're driving like in the middle of someo's ranch, and all of that drive was fucking terrible. But yeah, dude, I want to come out. I want to come out to Austin sometime. Did you just get a beer? I can't take my computer with me. Can I go grab a beer? Is it Zima? Oh
no, it's a alkaline water. I've been really big on like drinking water that has a really high pH in it, like 9.5. We can get into that later. Yes, go get a beer.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Fuck, I wish I had a beer now.
Sorry.
I need to be only drinking beer on these things from here on out. I keep talking about it and I never do it. It's because I don't really fucking drink beer, guys. Like I do, when I go on a date or something, I'll go drink a beer. I'll get a Mexican martini, Herradura Silver, Grand Marnier, extra dirty, olives, jalapenos in the middle, salt on top. That's my jam right there. Tequila, I love tequila, but I'm not much of a beer drinker. If it is, it's like, like I'm just going out socially. But I keep telling everybody that like when I do these, we need to like sit and have a beer, you know? And
I did. That's why I don't drink a whole lot either. But I'm like, I'll crack a beer for this. This will be just chilling, just fucking, guy talk kind of shit. Drink a beer. Or alkaline water. That's cool too. I drink that same stuff. Dude, I get the big bottles.
Yeah. I went through one of those today. Dude, I've actually got a crazy headache right now. I thought about calling you and being like, let's reschedule this. I had dental surgery 2 weeks ago, and they extracted my 2 wisdom teeth. And then the next week after that, I had some fillings done. So like I've had needles in my fucking mouth for 2 weeks, dude. But it's been a week, and I still like I've been fine. All of a sudden last night, I started feeling pain, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And now I can't open my mouth to like eat anything. It just my jaw hurts, and it's spreading into this crazy headache. So like behind my eyes and everything, I've got this crazy headache right now.
Are you going back? Did they have it checked up on?
Yeah, I called him today. I'm like, bro, you guys like, you gotta get me in and look at this because this is nuts. Are you scraping cocaine right now? I was like, you rolling up a line? Are we doing this?
It's an Amazon gift card that I thought was used up. I used it as a prop before, but I realized it's not. So I was scraping the little code off of it. And so I shouldn't have done that. I should have only done that when I was ready to enter it in. No cocaine. Not today.
Not right this minute.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, check this shit out. I got these. This is my new favorite thing to show off to people. So there's this company called Elephant Card Company, trading cards, something like that. It's a deck of cards.
Circuit.
Yes.
PCB edition. Oh, that's badass. Is it like it's a regular deck of cards?
This is the backs of the cards. And these are the fronts. So like face cards have like pretty girls, but it's all in circuitry.
Oh shit.
It's really good, right?
Yeah, that's badass.
It's hard to tell what the suits are though, because it's like gold and silver and like all of it looks the same.
Yeah.
It's really kind of difficult to tell. And then I got these Pink Floyd ones. I'm like really big into Tool, Radiohead, and Pink Floyd. So like anything Pink Floyd. These cards, they're all Pink Floyd, like, Dark
album art.
Yeah. Well, no, it's all kinds of different pyramids. Like every fucking card is different. Yeah, it's the coolest fucking deck of cards ever.
Dude.
And I'm
Where did you get those?
My kid, I think, got them somewhere at like a store for my ex-wife, because her and I were really big into Pink Floyd. So I don't know where the fuck he got them, but Casey looks used, so he might have just stolen them from another kid.
As long as they're all there.
Yeah, right. I don't give a shit. Fuck that kid.
Yeah. You probably appreciate them more than the person who had them before anyway.
Yeah, I like to tell myself that at least. Keeps the guilt away. Oh, man. Well, we should probably somewhat wrap this up, I suppose. What are you moving towards? What are you trying to do with your channel? Are you trying to get anywhere or do anything specific?
I would just keep the theme of it, like just laid back bullshit about tools, give my opinion on them. I guess there's like a handful of people that liked my opinion or agreed with it enough that they would be like, oh, okay. because like I'll see videos of stuff and it was like, everyone got it for free, and that there's rules about giving a favorable review because you're given something for free. And I was never about that. I've totally shit on stuff I was given for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people appreciate that honesty, and that's always been my goal, to stick to that. That was kind of one of my issues with the sponsorship deal, is that they sent me some garbage.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
I was like, I would never use this. I would never buy this. I don't know what to do with it. I'm having a real hard time, not totally shitting on this thing. And I know that that's
And
not
you
what
can't.
They
They say in the contract you can't shit on it. You have to contact us, and
they'll replace it with something else. And so I just need a space to do it, basically. The past couple of videos I have done have been in my parents' garage. There's a workbench there, and I have a tripod and everything set up there. Just still film everything on my phone in just one take. I can't get into editing. Like, I tried. I don't have the focus. I got ADD. I can't sit there and edit stuff. So I try to just do it all in one take, and I just need another space to do it. I want to do videos in a better place. I have plenty of stuff to do them about, but it's just not really easy right now, especially when I lived in my house and I had the workbench in the basement. So if it was cold, snowing, raining, it didn't matter. I just go down to the basement. Or if I was hanging out in the shed. So whenever inspiration struck, it was just easy to go and do. But I would do some more things with it, but it's just not the right time right now, pretty much. I haven't given up on it though, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah. No, dude, I totally understand. Like, trying to, like, just the complexity of fucking life, and then the demands other people have of your time is it's a fucking difficult thing. And once you introduce money and contracts and everything to it, like, I think we both had a very similar kind of experience with that first sponsorship that we had, and it ended up just kind of turning into a bunch of bullshit. And it's like, wait a second, you're sending me like engraving kits, like for wood engraving for crafts. Like, I will never use this. What are you fucking,
Did you get the Ryobi bolt cutters?
Yeah, I did. I broke them. I broke the fucking thing trying to cut a bolt, and I'm just like, what are we doing here?
It had to be like such a specific size bolt. And I was like, I can't do that. Yeah. That in one way or another got terminated. So, because that was around the time that all kind of hell broke loose in my life, and I told them that, and I'm thankful that they didn't get any kind of lawyers involved, because they probably could have. But it also just felt like a job, and that's not why I started doing YouTube videos. It is a hobby, something fun. I enjoyed it, and I got what I wanted out of it, but I still like to do it.
Yeah, man. I stopped really doing tool reviews because that's what it became. It was like, this is doing is like sending me things that I've never used before, or I have used, or it's just like, I don't give a fuck about it anymore. Like, what I want to do is teach about electrical, and if there's a way to introduce an electrical tool that I think is cool in the middle of what I'm already talking about, like that, I love the idea of. So my sponsorship stuff has changed. There's a lot of brands that I've gotten to do things with, and there's a lot of other brands that I'm trying to do things with, and I've got this just like formula down, and it kind of works. It's like, either there's two ways I'm willing to work with somebody. It's like, if you just want to do a shout out kind of thing in the middle of an episode, then like there's a certain thing that we can do, or if you want to like actually like really be featured for, and my audience give a shit about it and learn about it for a long time, like there's a long-term kind of deal that we can do, and it's like a little bit more say in what the content is about, so we can kind of plan stuff based off of some new panel you're fucking designing or something. Like you can have a say in it, but it's more just like, rather than cramming products down people's throat all the time, which is what some of these have wanted us to do, it's more just like, no, you create and do what you do because people watch that, and just like, here's a cool thing, if you want to like throw it in the video and put our logo on it, cool. And that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
That's well said. The cramming of products down people's throats. And I get marketing. I understood a lot about marketing after all of that, and I understand the machine that it is. But like, I want to like do my own independent review, or my own independent research on something, and then be like, that could work for me. And then I buy it, and then I just say, hey, you guys know my thoughts on tools and quality and all of this stuff. This is what I think about this thing. And you're in a really great spot because you could kind of really pick and choose. You could probably, work with, damn near any company. And I just, I have to do a video for Knipex. They sent me some things. I get emails all the time still, and I just either ignore them or say no thank you. But Knipex, who I actually really like their shit, they sent me some stuff, and I've got to do a video about that. That's probably the next one that I do. But like I said, you could probably probably either reach out to companies if you wanted something specific, or they reach out to you and you're like, yeah, I actually really like your products, because it's way easier to do that stuff when you really genuinely like the shit. So
yeah, that's the only thing I'll do now. It's like I get calls all the time, and I'll jump on a Zoom call with somebody. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck about your electrician apprentice training.com/Australia. Go fuck yourself. Like I don't give a shit how much you want to pay me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a couple of brands in the last year or so that I've worked with that I regret working with now.
Really?
After kind of figuring out what they're about and who they are and everything. But a lot of that you don't know. I mean, you start something and you start seeing zeros, and it's like, now I have a staff full of people that are doing certain things for me, and I'm trying to grow multiple lines of business. And so for me, sponsorship is more about revenue. It's not about me lining my pockets. It's no, I'm trying to grow this thing, and I'm trying to get these things over here developed. So in a way for me to get funding for them is to allow sponsorship on my videos. And so it's
you kind of have to, but it's good that you're I don't know how many you're over 300,000, 200,000 subscribers in Electrician to you, which is insane. That was your smaller channel.
I know, that was the small one. I remember that when we met. It was like, oh yeah, you're the Journey to Master guy. And it's like, no, actually, I'm evidently the Electrician you guy.
Yeah, that's just a part of the, it's a part. You'll have to. I got an email, a couple of them in the past year or so, and I didn't respond to it, but I'll run a couple names by you later, maybe.
For partners, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, electrical equipment manufacturers that have been, which is kind of a newer thing, I guess.
Yeah, but they're all catching on, man.
Yeah, smart device manufacturers and even panel manufacturers, and I just can't commit to anything. I just can't be like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I even got an email from Knipex, hey, we're the you sent us this stuff a couple months ago. What's going on? I'm like, look, I get to it. I promise. I like them. Don't worry about it. I just can't. Yeah. Not in a position to take on anything like that at the time right now.
Yeah, it's difficult too, because it sponsorship can kind of start to change the why you're doing what you're doing, right? When you're getting products sent to you and you got a sponsorship, it was the idea of the sponsorship was really cool and the money side of it looked great, but then the stuff they want to start sending, and it's oh fuck, I don't want to do a video about this, or what am I going to go do? So stupid thing, and then pretend because you want me to sell this thing for you that pretend that I would actually use it in a video. It can kind of change things, and it can make it not fun. It did for me. As soon as we started getting sponsored, I hated it right away. I was I feel like I'm fucking filthy that I'm trying to sell these people this shit that they're never gonna fucking use, or even if they are, I just felt I had a connection with my audience that was just me and them, and that was it. And I just allowed this company to come in between and show shiny shit, and I felt real fucked off about it. I did acid one time, and I was just I felt terrible. It was I was I sold out, and I can't believe that I allowed these brands into my fucking precious Electrician you. And then afterwards, I was wait, I need to talk to some other people. So I started talking to some really big influencers, and then just talking to people that really respect what I'm doing. And they're like, dude, you have to make money doing whatever you're gonna do for money to live and survive on this planet. And if you're going to go out and be an electrician, you're going to go out every day and you're going to get a paycheck, and you're going to get paid to do this thing that you're doing. And so this is just your new craft. This is the new thing that you're doing to make money, and you can't feel so bad about it. And as long as you're doing stuff that you love with brands that you love, you're honest with your audience about it, and like you're completely transparent, and you let them know that you need to make money. Like, it's all, people are way more understanding. And so I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with all of it now, but I just felt fucking shitty at first.
Yeah. No, I think you're doing it right, dude. You're doing it. You're doing perfect. You're doing perfect. Like I said, this was your smaller channel, and what you've turned it into is pretty amazing. And I'm so happy for you, dude. It's really happy and proud of you, man. That's really cool. And I felt the same way. That whole thing, where we met, that was like open bar, freaking giving us meals, and oh god damn, we're getting treated like kings.
Yeah, I felt like
so much fun, but I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I've gotten offers for that program from somebody. Actually reached out to me, and they're like, hey, there's this thing that we're doing. Would you be interested in doing it? Like, they had never met me before, and they didn't realize I'd already done it in the past. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyways, yeah. So like, I just won't do shit that I don't believe in anymore. And
it's a learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
And I talked to some people in that, and they were like, oh my god, dude, my whole garage is full of boxes and boxes of tools. I can't give them away. I can't sell them. I don't know what to do with all this shit.
You can't.
They're making money. They're making a living doing it, but I just not that anything's wrong with that, but that's not the road I wanted to go down. I think you kind of felt the same way.
Yeah. So now my big goal is, like, I'm trying to figure out where there are all kinds of holes and flaws and things within our industry that don't, things that we just kind of need, and listening to the pulse of the people that are our age or younger, and people that are older too. Just listening to everybody and trying to find like commonalities to things that are problems, and just trying to build something that solves the problems, so that eventually, we won't have the problems, and we'll have a lot more electricians, a lot better trained electricians, a lot more people feeling included. And like, I don't know. That's just kind of my thing. I want
to make a change for the better.
Yeah. I know that I have a certain amount of ego, right? I'm an only child. And so I know that, like, being validated by people telling me I'm a good job at doing, or that I'm doing a good job at something, and then feeling myself like I've done something that's made an impact for millions of people. Like, that's, to me, when I die as an egotistical only child, that's what makes me feel like I've done it. I've made it, is that I actually had like a big impact, and I made a difference for people in their lives.
I think a lot of people want that. I think no matter what, you always want to.
So I'm not just some douchebag. Okay.
No, because you don't come across like that. You're not like, well, do you know who I am? You don't have that kind of attitude at all. It's ego in a different, not in a negative way. I think ego can be a positive driving thing, and it also could be a terrible negative thing. And learning what's the difference is the difference between a douchebag and somebody that's trying to do something.
Yeah, I think that, like, acknowledging your ego and understanding it and admitting it and being open about it is, like, really the best thing that you can do, because it's not going to go anywhere. Right?
It can go. So there are things you could do to completely remove it for a temporary period of time.
Oh yeah. Mushrooms, acid, any substances that you can take, ego dissolving immediately.
Yep.
Have you ever dabbled in the psychedelics? Do you want to say off screen?
Oh, I mean, I have. Yeah. I mean, I've experimented with things over the years. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, it's like you don't care about yourself, or not that you don't care about yourself. You're insignificant. Your focus is not inward. It is on everything else around you, which puts things into a crazy different perspective and makes you really think about things differently. It's my favorite part of this, those things.
Yeah, the kind of interconnectedness and the feeling of I like how it just kind of shows you your dark undersides, your underbelly, the shit that you don't want to look at, or your fears, or whatever. Like, it just kind of makes you examine everything, and it's I feel like I've always come back with more knowledge and more lessons, and I kind of feel like there's like this weird entity that's trying to show me something all of the time. There's a commonality with most people that do these things that experience that, whether or not it's like a feeling that you have or that's actually something woo-woo going on. But there's just so much to learn. I don't recommend anybody out there that's got any kind of like schizophrenia or anything like that. Like doing shit like that's not for everybody.
Or even anybody that just doesn't want to do it.
Right.
If you're like, I don't really want to do that. But Dustin really said it was freaking cool. Like,
it is. It's so fucking cool for the right person, people.
The right time, the right guidance, the right, all of the, do it, those things I think are beneficial for all of the right reasons, not for, let's get messed up, man. Like,
Yeah. Mine has never been for that. Like, there's obviously times in my life that I've taken drugs for like party, fun, times. But that's always the trashiest kind of like shitty time that you wake up the next morning and you're just like fucked because you weren't really like doing it for any kind of gain. You were just doing it for fun. But for me, like doing psychedelics has always been something that I have learned. It's a me experience. It's not an everybody else experience. Exactly. And the other thing too, it's like when you do mushrooms or something and somebody comes into the room and they've got a fucked up energy, it changes everything for you. It can completely ruin, and you can have a terrible fucking day. And so it's just not, it's always been kind of like a spiritual thing, a way to connect and like learn shit for myself.
And there's countless books and data and research on the benefits of it. It's not an exact science by any means. Nobody really understands why, it works the way that it does, but it's definitely, there's definitely benefits. I believe there's definitely benefits to it. I've gotten benefits myself out of it too.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of people with like PTSD, a lot of soldiers that have come back and have gone through. The one I haven't done yet is ayahuasca. My ex-wife and I, our big goal was always to go down to Peru and do an ayahuasca retreat. And I'm still going to do that. I'm going to do it by myself. But they're just the amount of like healing that happens. There's actually I think they call it cambo. There's a poisonous Amazonian frog that they take the like poison off of its skin, and they put it on a dart and they poke your skin with it, and it actually introduces the poison into your bloodstream. And it's like the worst 15 minutes of your life. You feel like you're gonna fucking die. But when you come out of it, it's the most cleansing thing that you can do to your body. Like you're completely cured. Most of the people that like smoke cigarettes and stuff completely walk away and they've never had another cigarette the rest of their life. And it's just like there's something about it that's really cleansing that these people down in the fucking jungle have been doing for thousands of years, like communally as families. They all induce these substances together, and but it's illegal in America.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something you could like book on a Carnival cruise or something, or
well, there's actually retreats. Yeah, so like no, I mean I've looked into it. Like it's expensive, so it's like $2,500 for like a week-long experience. But they do the cambo ceremony, they do the ayahuasca ceremony. There's a place to stay, but you got to arrange your airfare too. So it's like $1,000 for a fucking flight to get down there. So it's a lot of money. It's not like going.
You need to be evaluated, I think, but somebody will let you even do it too, I think. Probably,
yeah. But it's not like going and, getting like a hit of acid at a concert for $15. It's like, no, this is like $6,000 that you're like, this is a commitment to do this. But I also I love ancient cultures. So being able to go down and see like the Nazca lions and see a lot of the pyramids and stuff. I've been a nerd about that shit. Castles, and I love all that stuff.
Yeah, same. It's never been on my bucket list, but it sounds super interesting. I've always been interested to hear the stories of that process for people.
Yeah, I've always been interested to listen to people that have studied it and have done it for a long time and have learned lessons. Terrence McKenna is somebody that I really admire.
Yeah,
the dude's like. He's just on point, and his ability to speak about it in a highly intellectual and favorable manner. So it's scientific. It doesn't seem like some hippie just be like, do drugs. Like I probably fucking sound right now. No, but I love hearing people like that talk about it. And a lot of times there's common threads in a lot of different people's stories. And that's what interests me. I had a theory about it. I was talking to Modern Electrician. We talked actually quite a bit about doing mushrooms. And I said, well, every one of these substances is a plant. You know, even acid, it's a fungus. Like coffee, a bean, plant. Like every kind of substance that we put into our body in some way does something to us internally, right? It's like plants under the ground, mycelium in mushrooms, fungus, like all kinds of different things. But these plants basically are able to communicate underground. And I have a theory that what is happening is part of whatever that network of communications, the signals that they're sending to each other, that is what's happening when you cut a root out or you ingest one of these things, is that same kind of communication is happening throughout your entire body. And so you're almost like communicating with a plant, not like seriously like the plant sitting there talking to you, but it's passing information, right, from plant to plant. And it's still, even dead, cut off, the substances are inside of that. And I think that it's just information that you're ingesting. And the byproduct, almost like when you pass current through a wire, there's a magnetic field, right? Well, the magnetic field is just the byproduct of the current moving. I think that the trip, the experience, that the information entering your head and your bloodstream, the trip is just the byproduct of the information that's being taken in. And every plant has a little bit different information and has a different kind of feel. So like mushrooms feel a certain way that like cocaine does not feel, you know, or like, it's all kind of different. So I don't know. That's my theory about it all.
I can't say I disagree with that. That's really interesting.
It's like plant consciousness. You're literally eating plant consciousness.
Yeah. We were literally, I mean, I'm sorry. You said you wanted to wrap this up like freaking 20 minutes ago.
It's all right. I'm saying that is for is because I have to finish building this fucking wall.
Oh, gotcha.
And putting a ceiling up. So, but I'll be up here till 11 o'clock at night banging around shit. We're good.
We were talking about, we got real deep today at work. What the fuck? I thought we were supposed to talk about like three-ways and like services and stuff.
Nah, man. This is me. I don't like talking about like football and fucking weather.
But we were talking about, one guy brought up, he's an interesting guy, but he brought up somehow the conversation went down the road of Moses on the mountain talking to the burning bush. And
it was DMT.
Yeah. So I told him, I was like, there's a lot of theories or a lot of evidence to suggest that Moses was tripping balls when that happened.
Yeah.
And that probably has a factor in a lot of religious ceremonies and a lot of religious stories that aren't even based in, there are religious ceremonies and stories based in hallucinogens, but like the Bible generally isn't. But there's like a whole book about how that if you could take all this evidence from the Bible, and it's probably this mountain that they were talking about, on that mountain it grows this kind of mushroom or whatever kind of hallucinogen is available at the time.
Yeah.
Like that makes a lot more sense.
This dude inhaled a fucking psychedelic plant on fire and had the trip of a fucking lifetime and came up with Christianity.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What about the stoned ape theory, right? Like the idea that like we were apes, even if we don't believe in the God Jesus story, the evolutional story, that we were nomadic apes and that we were in trees, and then we started running low on food source, and so we had to start coming to the ground, and then we started eating things and foraging on the ground, and we just ingested these mushrooms, and all of a sudden we're tripping monkeys, and it was responsible for kickstarting our consciousness.
Yeah, that's why we're the only. Yeah, dude, I know all about. I read all of that kind of shit, dude. Yeah, it's the reason that we're the only things that have, a verbal communication and We're the only species. We're not the only species, but we're like basically the only species that uses tools. Other do in primitive ways, very very primitive ways. We have all kinds of crazy tools. That's. I mean, that boils my passion for tools right down to a point. It's like we're the ones that use tools.
Yeah.
You can't tighten a nut to 30 foot-pounds with your hands.
Right. The difference between a chimp and us is the tool usage.
Yeah.
Is society as we see it.
And it more advanced everything. But I also, with all of that too, I also think like, well, if we're 1% DNA away from chimps, what if something else out there is 5% DNA different than us, or 100% different? Like, I think humans think they're hot shit because we could, we built all the society and stuff.
Can we go into the Anunnaki and the aliens? Are you into that?
A little bit, but yeah, like yeah, like that's yeah, we both listened to Tool, okay?
Yeah.
I was this close to wearing a Tool shirt. The only reason I didn't is I was because pretty sure you were gonna wear a Tool shirt.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I have a Tool shirt for every day of the week.
I only have like 2 or 3, and they're only from concerts that I went to. But yeah, it's like, yeah. I like I said, I think humans are like, oh, we're hot shit. We dominate the planet. We build everything. We do everything. Monkeys are stupid, and dogs are stupid. We do everything. We made it the way it is. But I actually think like we're small peanuts compared to what's actually physically capable. With the different kinds of aliens that there could or may or may not be that have some some sort of play in where we came from or where we're going.
Yeah, when people ask me if I believe in aliens, I don't say I believe, I just say I hope. I fucking hope there are. I mean, really,
There's got to be.
we can't be it. If we're it, we're fucking boring, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're cool, right? Like, we make signs and make contactors and wooden things, like,
Yeah.
phones. But, like, what the fuck are we, really? Beyond that, we're a conscious, thing that thinks about itself in relation to everything else and judges accordingly. But that's like our great feat is our
Ego.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't even make our brain. Like, we're so, oh, we have the best brain, we're so special. It's like, well, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
We use
Like I
that.
said, if we're like 1% different DNA from monkeys, what if we were 1% different? The kid
From
would
an
be
alien.
born. Yeah. And
They wouldn't
in
give a fuck about us.
4 or 5 years, they have they have 100 times more understanding of quantum physics than Stephen Hawking could ever hope to have. And just know that, just know and understand everything that they look at, where like an ant can't understand that it, got stepped on by a shoe that's made of rubber, that's whirred by a person. But like, an ant that was like 1,000 times more advanced would be like, oh shit, this shoe is stepping on me. That's made of rubber and it's about to kill me. I'm about to end. My biological being is about to end right now. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know what's going on. They're just dead.
I have another theory that we are in a simulation. I mean, a lot of people have simulation theories, kind of dope.
I think that's a super interesting theory.
I do too.
Yeah.
I love the Matrix just for that reason, because it kind of like
that was part of the conversation. This is the second fucking time today I'm talking about this. We were talking about that at work.
Synchronicities, man.
Brought it up. He was like, yeah.
Well, if you think about, so like I spend a lot of time thinking about electrons, right? Like just like what's going on inside of atoms, and we have a difference of potential. We have voltage that exists within every single fucking atom. We have a positive and a negative. And so we have every single thing that exists. This is made of electrons and protons and nothing else. It isn't just electrons, protons. It's made of electrical things. Everything is electricity. We are electricity. Electricity is everywhere. And then there's the invisible side of electricity, the radiation side that actually like you can communicate. Like right now, this thing is talking. I don't see anything, but it's talking in 360 degrees to other shit completely wirelessly without any communication. So what's to say that this electric thing can't be communicated with from the outside by a signal, by other radiating electricity, to vibrate a certain way, to look a certain way, to be stable and held together a certain way for a simulation to occur. And if you change the vibration, the simulation can change. I got this whole fucking thing figured out, but bro, we're definitely in a simulation. There's nothing that's not electric. It's all electric. And something turned it on at one point, the Big Bang, whatever, right? Like we don't know anything before that. Like it's got to be a simulation. But the cool shit, I think, to think is that being able to experience one life is the only way to experience anything of difference in relation to anything else. So like if all consciousness is all one total consciousness, there's nothing to experience. So the only way to really experience any kind of anything is to break yourself up into trillions and trillions of smaller pieces and then interact one piece to another piece and see how all of these interactions between every single combination of everything everywhere every blade of grass, like everything. That's the only way to like really experience what you are if we are all a consciousness. That shit blows my mind.
Yeah, you kind of just blew my mind. That's like a different perspective that I've heard. I've heard of like, people talking about different vibrations, but to break it down, we're electronic devices is as much as a cell phone, really.
Well,
We
yeah,
made it the same thing.
yeah, and like if everything's fractal in nature, we notice that there's this pattern, this phi ratio, this fucking what is the lateralis spiral? What is that? Come on. Wow, whatever, you know what I'm fucking talking about. But
Yeah.
everything is patterned in nature. And so if we are constantly trying to build simulations to go inside of, to experience something, to experience a different kind of life and relative to things that we can't experience, what's to say that we are right now not inside of something that we had already tried to do this and that we continue to dive deeper into simulations?
No, yeah, I think all of this. Well, I'm at a point where I don't know what to believe, and I don't necessarily believe those things. I think all of those theories are super fucking interesting.
Yeah,
and I'm not just saying they're bullshit.
Right.
Because we were talking about that today. The one guy who I told about the burning bush deal, he was like, "So you think we're in a simulation?" And I was like, "I don't think we're in a simulation.
I like
actually
to entertain that though.
Exactly. It's like an interesting thing to let your mind go on. And like in your head, you're thinking, okay, well, what if this, then this? Okay, what if this, then this? And it kind of all adds up to like where if you're really objective about it, you can't really say that it's not possible.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Prove that it's not.
Yeah. About any of it though, like, right?
Yeah.
Like Christian could say the same thing. Prove me wrong. It's like, well,
that's exactly what he did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not questioning your faith in anything, but prove me wrong.
Yeah. No, that's the thing too, is like I don't have beliefs in anything. I just if I'm ever going to form a belief about something, it's going to be my own belief that my head conjured up. It's not going to be some book story that a guy that was up on a stage is telling the whole crowd to believe, and then that crowd goes around telling everybody else the magical secrets that guy doesn't fucking know, but he was told from a different guy from a different, the same book. It's like, to me, that's not learning. That's just hearing and listening, and it's sheep. It's like following a crowd. And that's not to say anybody that believes those things is wrong or right or anything. No. I just know for me to feel okay about having a belief about something, that it needs to be a belief that is from my experience. What I feel inside is going up, and that's why I just have a problem with belief in general.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's when there was no technology. People didn't know what the hell was going on with anything. Everything was a god. That's why there's like Asian and European and all these different religions. It was just a natural thing for people to be like, oh, guy up in the sky. It was like just something wired into every human. And as technology gets more advanced, it's like, well, we talked about how, why wasn't David Koresh embraced as the next Messiah? It's because nobody believed him, because everybody thought it was bullshit.
Right. But enough evolution of our mind and our like species and culture had happened to where we didn't believe that one. But we
all agree that there is something, there's this undeniable feeling that there is something more. There's
not everybody though. Not everybody would agree with that. There's a lot of people that are like, nope, it's all just chaos. It's all random burps and farts of a bunch of stars and galaxies. And
I'm not saying they're wrong either.
Right? Who fucking knows, man? We have to like be honest and say nobody fucking knows. Not one of us. So like we can't judge anybody for thinking anything. I only judge people that refuse to think about any of it. Those are the people I judge, and I'm honest about it. At least I'm honest about judging those people, but it's like, bro, you don't have any thought or care or anything about what you are and what this is, and you haven't thought about that once. Like you're so wrapped up in just like your experience that you haven't really like chewed on in any way, any possible. But it's even that I can't judge it, because like, who's to say that me, this monkey off over here, like trying to figure out the secrets of the universe, isn't just missing the point of existence by just existing and not worrying about it? Like that's just as fucking valid too.
Yeah, I would never say anybody's wrong about anything along those lines of any of those subjects.
Oh,
I
I
do
would
think
say
it's
you're
it's
wrong.
oh
Whatever
well,
you
fuck
think,
you.
you're fucking wrong, dude.
I believe in the spaghetti monster Jesus. Okay.
That's an interesting kind of Jesus. I think I might believe in that too.
Well, that was like a fake religion. People wanted to have their license picture. They made up a fake religion so they could put a colander, like a strainer colander on their head to prove a point. Because most of those people kind of believed along these lines anyway. And they're like, oh, we worship the spaghetti monster. And part of our religion is we wear a colander as a hat just to force the local DMV or whatever, the MVA, so that they could have a colander on their head in their license picture just to prove a point.
Those are the trolls that are also in our
Yeah.
videos talking shit. But we need those people too, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They were the Reddit people before Reddit.
Yeah. Oh man. And the 4chan.
4chan's dark.
The interesting thing that I think in the religious sphere of things is when you start looking at ancient sites, like Egypt, and looking at the walls and the pictures that are drawn of like fucking like helicopters and stuff from people that were like tens of thousands of years ago alive, and like ingesting some kind of like the Blue Nile lotus at the time was like their sacrament, their like ceremonial trip that they would take. And just like looking at all the stories of the multiple different gods of all of these old pagan religions, and the hearing the Anunnaki story, right? Like the Sumerian tablets with the whole story about all these beings that came down and did genetic experiments and everything. And that's the first thing ever in human history ever written ever that we have found. The oldest shit ever written.
Yep.
And it tells this fucking story that all other religions correlate in some fashion their story to fit within it.
There's parallels. Yeah, little bits and pieces are parallels to all that.
Yeah, in the Bible, like Christians don't like to admit this in this conversation, but in the Bible it talks about these angels, these beings that came down, mated with human women, made these big giant fucking beings. God got pissed, popped the firmament, and flooded the earth and killed everybody and put all the giant beings underground in the mountains somewhere. It's like,
yeah.
If you're gonna believe your book, you gotta believe this fucking stuff too.
Yeah, or at least consider it.
Oh, man. Anyways,
that's cool, man. I didn't know you thought all that kind of shit was interesting like I do. I try to talk this shit to people at work, and I'm like, dude, there's like theories that there's like different dimensions and shit. And they're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What am I supposed to do with this feed here? And I'm like, all right.
Get this shit.
Yeah.
No, man. I think most people don't know that I think this stuff either. I think this is going to be a eye-opening thing for a lot of my followers.
It's at the least, it's interesting topics, and it's interesting things that you can't, you can't say are wrong.
Right.
And I'm against that. I'm against saying you're wrong. I'm right.
Yeah, me too.
Let's all talk about possibilities.
Yep. Yeah, I'm open-minded to anything and everything, really. When I'm alone and not like doing Electrician or like wiring a house, most of the time I'm listening to highly philosophical people talk about things, or I'm listening to somebody lecture about something, or I like to sit and watch alien documentaries, and I sit and like watch archaeological digs and findings, and I don't know, that's the kind of weird shit I am. So then it's funny because then that forms itself into like what the stuff that I think about is. But yeah, I'm into a lot of weird shit.
It's not weird. It's not weird. It's not mainstream. It's not what most people think. But it's like, we think the edge of possibilities is like the real interesting part. Like the part we don't know. It could be this. Could be this. It's anything's possible.
Well, and the edge isn't even a solid thing. The edge is a gradient. Like when you get to the edge, it's like there's no beginning or end of the edge. It's like just I don't know. Let's end this on this note.
Gotcha.
On this note, this is going to piss so many people off. Have you looked into flat Earth?
Yeah.
What do you think about flat Earth? No judgment either way. What do you think?
I think it's a troll that got out of hand.
I think so too.
then it got out of hand, and then there's people that actually it could have started as like a 4chan thing, and then people actually believed it. But I don't think that scientists would, all of the scientists ever looking to this one goal of that it's round and that's how gravity works, and then a massive thing like the Earth or a planet has gravity and it's going to be in a circle or a sphere. I don't think there's any reason for that all of them to lie forever. So I've looked into it. I've actually been like, okay, talk me into flat Earth.
Yeah.
And it didn't really happen.
You just can't get there, right? I looked into it. For the longest time, I was like, I'm not even going to waste my fucking brain space.
Yeah.
The little bit of brain cells I have left, I'm not even going to fucking waste my time with. This is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And then I just heard it so many times. And I met some people that I respected. And then they started talking about it. And I'm like, whoa. You lost me. We were cool before. Where are you going? No way. There's no fucking way that you believe that. And they believe some other crazy kind of shit too. But it was just like, all right, if you believe this thing, I need to know how you got suckered into this. So I need to look into this to see what rational, sound people that I respect, how they're getting sucked into this whole fucking thing. So then I started looking into it, and at first that was what I thought too. I was just like, well, there's no way that a giant conspiracy like this could be happening and one person doesn't, get on board with it. And there's just no fucking way. It's too asinine. But then I started to find these people that started talking about Antarctica. And Antarctica was the jumping off point for a lot of people to get into flat Earth. And I didn't know that. So I had never heard there was any kind of crazy shit with Antarctica. I had an uncle that was in the Navy, held some high security clearances, used to go down to Antarctica, would never talk about it, couldn't talk about it. There's bases down there. Everybody's got some kind of sovereignty with their country down there, but you can't go down to Antarctica. Nobody can. But presidents go down there and they fly down there all the time. Why the fuck are presidents flying down to Antarctica and having meetings? Kind of seemed a little crazy. So I was like, all right, well, the Antarctica thing, that is bizarre. There's bizarre that there's this 60-mile region all the way around Antarctica that you're not allowed to go. And if you're not allowed to bring fuel to go into this zone either. So they really, really fucking want people to stay out of Antarctica for some fucking reason. And so that was the jumping off point that I was like, whoa, there's something here. I don't think that equates to us living on a flat Earth, but that is where the central point, the only thing that intrigued me enough as to, I'm not saying there's a reason that we don't go to Antarctica or that there's not nukes there or I don't know, fucking giant beings or something. Who knows? I don't know what the fuck's down there, but I do find it really unanswerable and really fucking bizarre that we cannot go and that it's this forbidden fucking zone on Earth that our government controls. That's real weird to me. So a lot of people, that's where their whole flat Earth thing starts. They're like, well, it's not actually, there's just an ice wall and there's more rings outside of it and aliens actually come. I'm like, okay, you're fucking speculating at this point. I was with you on Antarctica. It's weird we can't go there. Our government does shady shit all the time. They never tell us the truth. It's always lies and bullshit. But at that point is where I stopped with this whole thing. I don't go any further.
Yeah, I think it's not a completely, not completely, almost unhealthy thought exercise. What if your entire reality that you think of as the round planet isn't that at all? And then making argument after argument, and a lot of it is centered around Antarctica, but then a lot of other things don't add up. So It's you're on a right path to something's up. It's not the Earth's not flat though. It's that's not the right, that's the road you went down. And it's interesting to question. That's why I always thought that it was just a kind of a thought experiment. Oh, well, we just have an answer for everything as far as flat Earth's concerned. And, all of this is fake. And this is all CGI from the 60s. They had totally CGI in the 60s from, Apollo missions and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it's an interesting concept that what if your whole reality of thinking that the Earth is a certain way. But, I did get to a point where I was like, okay, I believe the physicist and the astrophysicist and the astronomers, God, they get really pissed off when you mix those up.
Yeah, they do. One of them is zodiac signs. and the other
Yeah.
one is science. No, they're both.
But
they're both
again,
science.
I did all of the research, not research, and research. I looked up shit on the internet.
Yeah,
I
I looked up YouTube videos. I didn't research.
Yes, but I pulled points and counterpoints and made my own decision. And yeah, it's weird, but the whole Antarctica thing is weird. But yeah, I don't think the Earth is flat. I think it may have been a troll that kind of got out of hand, and some people are. I'm not gonna say people were dumb, but some people were influenced enough to actually believe something like that was just kind of a joke to begin with.
Oh, dude, could you imagine if all of it was true? The amount of like catastrophe of our brains and our society and everybody in humanity like shifting all of the sudden. Could you imagine how catastrophic that would be if everybody found out for all of human history we've been being fed something that's not true? Like, but I mean, what about like the people back when they all thought the Earth was flat and that you'd fall off of it, and then they found out that it was a globe? Like that shift alone had to have been such a crazy thing for the people at that time to hear, right? Or maybe it spread slowly over years. Maybe it wasn't an impact on
No,
them.
I mean, that was one of the arguments. That's one of the arguments that some of them will bring up. Well, at one point, everybody knew it was flat. And then certain guys said, certain guys had theories that it was round. And those were like the heretics. Those were the givers of misinformation. Until
those are the flat earthers of today.
Exactly. At one point, it was flip-flopped. But like, what would my thing was like, what would be the point? But oh yeah, if there was like irrefutable evidence and every person in the world had to face the fact that the Earth was flat, it very well could spiral society like out of control. Like it could ruin everything. So I hope for something in my lifetime that is that big and that impactful to happen. I want aliens to come down and then like to see it on fucking CNN and be like, oh my God. Like I want something that impactful to happen in my lifetime before I die. Or like all of a sudden we open up a black hole somewhere and we find like, oh, it's just a way for us to travel through the galaxy instantaneously and something cool. Yeah. Cool. Or dude, honestly, like if there's like a natural disaster that ends humanity, I kind of want to be a part of that.
Oh like, yeah, front seat.
There's like a volcano or aliens or like something just crazy, something we wouldn't even expect. Like if something crazy is going to happen to all of humanity and everybody's going to die anyway, yeah, I want a front row seat. Yeah, I want to be there.
Me too. I would empty my bank account, whatever. Give me the cost of it. I think the one thing that I could do, if I could do anything before I die, is I would like to see space. I would like to go outside of our bubble and fucking be in it one time. Yeah. Oh, dude, I got an Oculus, and in the Oculus, one of the first things I started messing around with were like, what are their little like video things experiences that you have that you can go in, and like one of them is going up in a hot air balloon, one of them skydiving, but the very first thing I ever did anything VR was the ISS, going up in the International Space Station, and you're in it and you have to like grab on things and pull yourself and feel that zero gravity. Dude, I almost got sick to my stomach. Like I thought I was gonna throw up the first time I'd ever done anything VR, and it was so disorienting because I was like upside down trying to crawl through things, and it was such a crazy thing. But then you got to spacewalk too, so like you could go outside of the craft and like let go. And I was like, fall down to earth, please let me fall down into earth, and it wouldn't. It was like it made you come back, and I'm like, damn it. But I think it'd be so cool.
That was that intense.
Yeah,
I've never done anything VR.
It wasn't intense. It was just the first time I had a fully immersive 360-degree experience like that. And it wasn't like me just walking straight and like, or like the what's the fucking game where you cut shit with swords? I forget. Anyways, but it was everywhere, and it was like I couldn't orient myself the right way. Yeah, so I just started to get all like twisted up, but now I love it. Beat Saber, yes, Beat Saber's dope. Holy cow, dude, that's a really cool game. But now my kid and I play VR all the fucking time. It's really cool.
Yeah, I always had my eye on it. I always wanted to try it, but I haven't. I think this computer could handle it. I just there hasn't been that like killer like Beat Saber's been like the hottest thing, but I never even experienced it, so I don't even know what I'm missing out on.
Yeah, Super Hot, I think, was my favorite. It was really the first game I bought and like got into a game. It's called Super Hot, but it's like everything in a room there's furniture and everything's like completely realistic. It's just everything's white. The floors, the ceilings, walls, everything, all the furniture, all of it's white. And there's in front of you, there's like tables that are white, but there's like black objects on them. And anything that's black, you can pick up and you can throw. There's knives, there's axes, there's like machine guns, there's pistols, there's all kinds of stuff. It's all weapons, or like there's an ashtray, like that's a glass ashtray you can throw. But once you materialize in this environment, you notice all the white shit, and then out of nowhere, these little red like glass beings start popping out, and in slow motion, they start moving towards you, and they're pulling guns out like Matrix style, slow motion. They're pulling them out and shooting at you. And the faster you move, the faster that they move, and the faster their bullets go. So the slower you go, you can like actually dodge bullets. You can catch bullets with your hand. It was the coolest shit. And so like
I'm
once you
watching
start,
a video right now.
oh dude, it does no justice until you're in the fucking goggles. Next time you come out to Austin, hit me up. I'll give you my Oculus, and you're gonna be like, for hours of your life, you're gonna be stuck in that fucking thing. It's so cool.
I think you might have pushed me over the edge. I think I might start looking into them, seeing what the best ones are now.
That game though too, there's almost this like lobby area. Like once you're done with missions, you go back into this weird room and there's computers, and you have to like pick up discs and put floppy disks into computers and stuff. That was what made me first realize like, whoa, we can do a lot of shit with this VR. It's good. I bought the Oculus because I just wanted to see where VR is and what it's all about and how good it is. It's really fucking good right now. And it's only gonna get better, but it's like the quality is top fucking notch, man. So anyways, let's end this shit. Yeah. This has been at least 2 hours. This is good though, man. I'm glad that we did this. 2 hours.
Oh yeah, this has been fun.
In a long time. Maybe next time we'll talk about some electrical shit.
I'm down.
Boring. Boring. Talk about enough electrical shit all day, every day. Anyways, dude, it's good to hear from you again.
Me too, man.
We really connected a long time ago, and I'm glad that we've kept touch with each other. Seems like we got a lot of shit in common.
Yeah.
A lot of shit in common, really.
Yeah, more than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Do you have any like socials, anything that you like to do, or you want to try to send people? Like, go ahead and hawk your shit right now.
I did Mike's Tool Shed on YouTube. It's a trash YouTube channel that the dude never uploads. And same thing on Instagram. I just post, usually just Instagram, just bullshit that I run into at work. Like, hey, check out how fucked up this is. But yeah, I'm not like a big social media guy, but kinda am. So that's about it.
For being a social media guy, you should really think about your position on being a big social media guy. You know, if you're going to be in it, I don't know. No, I get it. Hobby. I get it, dude. I completely get it. I hate running like Instagram accounts and Facebook and like continually having to put stuff out. It's a full-time job, and it's a lot. So anyways, on that note, thank you guys so much for your attention. Go check out Mike's Tool Shed. Go follow him on Instagram. Follow him on YouTube. Stay classy, motherfuckers. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your constant support and attention, and we'll talk soon.
Descant music and video.